Hello, hello. Welcome to the Sacred and Rooted podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Nickel, and this is a series called The Happiness Habit. This is actually probably the last one in the series because it's September, just now, September 1st, when I'm recording this. So we will get back into the longer episodes in the fall. And so, yeah, if you enjoy this episode, if you haven't even heard of the Happiness Habit series, go back into, take a look at all the episodes that I've published. And I think this is number 11, I think, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So this episode is brought to you by this quote right here by Tony Robbins. He's a motivational speaker and coach kind of guy. If you haven't heard of him, he's pretty big energy, but his message is pretty good most of the time. Okay, so the quote goes like this: everybody's got a past. The past does not equal the future unless you live there. So everybody's got a past. The past does not equal the future unless you live there. So this is big because this is something that just needs to be checked and double checked all the time, because it is really easy to slip back into the past, into different habits, into different, get kind of taken under with old memories or old experiences that are triggered with something that you're doing now. But honestly, if you can really embody this, you're just gonna have a great life. There's no way around it. So take a look at yourself, reflect when you have a chance on where you sort of get caught up or start really kind of living in the past a little bit more than you should. And really, we should try not to live there at all. Visit once in a while, but don't build a house there and, settle in. And so this really sets you free, because every one of us, obviously there's a lot of variance into the quality of everybody's childhood. But no matter where you've come from, what you've experienced, what's happened to you, what you've done, none of that matters in the future at all. And so just feel free to let it go whenever you're ready. Forgive, maybe don't forget, but don't bring it with you. Don't live there. Don't carry it with you in large suitcases on your back. And we can really get caught up in sort of the guilt or the shame of different things we've experienced or done or been exposed to, and we don't need to do that. I just want to give you permission to let it go. You are a good person. You have a lot to offer in the world, and we need what you have to offer. And so don't continue to hide it behind feelings of unworthiness, feelings of guilt or shame, or that, nobody's going to listen to you, nobody's going to care. Every single person on this planet has a little piece of the puzzle, and we need the world to evolve into a place that we all enjoy living, and we each have a little piece of that puzzle. And so please, don't live in the past. What's done is done. Take some lessons with you so that you don't get stuck in that kind of situation again, or you don't do that again, or you don't put up with that again, whatever the scenario was. But you do not have to take it with you as sort of a cross to bear, or because it happened to you, somehow that was a judgment on your worthiness as a human being or your value as a human being. It wasn't. Things happen to people all the time that have literally nothing to do with them personally. It has more to do with the person doing it, or like where they are with their own journey. So please practice some affirmations, go to therapy, talk to friends, just decide to let it go and try it on for size and see how scary or how good it is. Just to get comfortable, start to get really comfortable with just being who you are in this moment, not sort of preconceiving how the moment should turn out or go or what you need to get from it, but to just really just be in your life in the present moment and enjoy the gifts that it has. You're worthy of experiencing life like that, and nothing that has happened to you or nothing that you have done, mistakes you might have made, people that you trusted that you probably shouldn't have, all of the things that we do in our lives that are like not, maybe our shiniest, best self kind of things. That doesn't mean you have to kind of like count yourself out of the game after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can just say, geez, man, I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of dumb, or that was rude, or that was mean. And consider it unintentional even sometimes. But so learn from it and grow from it, but don't carry it with you like some kind of judgment on your future character or your future abilities to do anything in the world, because like I said, we all have things to offer, and you're valuable and you're worthy and you're important to the evolution of this world. If you're here, you're important to the evolution of this world. And so we need everyone to just kind of blossom into their, biggest, best self. And that means you got to let the past go and kind of just be able to dance with your life, like right now, whatever's happening in your life, like dance with it, move through it, learn things, receive gifts, whatever, whichever direction. Probably all of those things happen in the course of a week, but just to be flexible with your life and not be sort of counting yourself out, talking yourself down, just being a big bully to yourself in your mind all the time. Like, we don't need that. And, and to really understand that the things that happen to you, are out of your control. It's really barely ever a personal thing. It's a lot more to do with the person that is doing it to you or saying it to you or anything, like where they're at with their journey. It is not some sort of stamp of disapproval that you need to wear on your forehead for the rest of your life. So, with that said, however you reflect, take some time to just think, notice where in your life you're kind of playing smaller or staying smaller out of just habit, really. And the habit is that it's like you haven't quite shed the last skin that you were supposed to shed. You know what I mean? And so we need to keep doing that to grow. We can't, there's not going to be a moment in time where you can sit there and say, okay, I'm 44 years old. I've officially learned everything I need to learn in this life. Now I'm brilliant and everything's going to be just perfect. And I mean, that's just totally delusional. So that's not the point. You're going to make more mistakes in your life. So that's just a given. So accept that as well. You have to, accept yourself, the whole self, not just the shiny, flowery and rosy parts. But just to know, to dance with it. You make a mistake, apologize, learn from it, get on with it, keep moving. It does not need to limit the way you see yourself and the possibilities you have and the dreams you have for yourself in the future. And so take a note from Tony Robbins. The past has no bearing on the future. I mean, even if you just look at his life. I mean, he came from poverty, and, you probably, if you knew him when he was 10 years old, he may not have seemed like much was going to happen there because of just his socioeconomic upbringing. But I think he's a billionaire at this point. I'm not sure, but he's highly successful. He has helped millions of people kind of see their own possibilities for themselves. And yeah, he's successful in lots of ways, not just business, but also, he has a bunch of kids. He has a wife who's, obviously, I don't know for sure, but they seem like they're pretty happy with each other. So it seems as though he's mastered, relationships and business, and then has a really, exciting, he has a lot of great business ventures where he's trying to do, improve healthcare for people to make it more economical and feasible, and just a lot of things, because, obviously money buys kind of access, or even more ways of changing the world. So even if you use him as an example, there's millions of people who have, I think a lot of times actually people that, I'm not going to say most of them because it's not true, but there is a group of people that, they grow up in super shitty circumstances, and they go pretty far with their lives and their businesses and just their trajectory, because they started with such a shitty hand, and the hand that they're dealt had nothing to do with them. And so I think they kind of used it like, I'm getting the F out of here because this bites. And so they use it almost as a inspiration to just keep moving, keep doing something, like we need to get out of here. But then there's a lot of, most people don't have the worst childhoods, but there's always different things. No parent or no childhood is without angst, or it wasn't quite all of the needs that got met weren't, that never happens. But it's like almost like it's good enough, it's comfortable enough, it's fine enough, and so then it's trickier. I think people find it trickier to get out of those kind of, like, to really move on their dreams and hopes, because they have some stuff to lose. And so it's like, well, it's kind of comfortable enough right where I am, so it's fine. And that's fine. If they're truly happy, it's not even fine, it's great. But a lot of people kind of fold away their dreams, kind of fold away, their real big hopes for themselves out of comfort for something that's okay. And it seems like it should be fine because maybe other people are doing it and they look a lot happier. But maybe for you, that's not your trajectory. And so to just be bold enough to put away the past and trek into the future, like, like an explorer, basically. Somebody who's like, okay, I'm going out there, I'm going to see what I can see what I can find, see what adventure I can get into, and who knows where this life will take you, right? Yeah, I think that's really all I have to say on that. I guess, again, I might sound like a little broken record at this point, but yeah, following your dreams really does, it leads to happiness, even if it doesn't lead to, like, golds and riches and stuff. It leads to happiness because your soul is engaged. You're actively pursuing things that you love. And, if you're going to spend time on the earth, why not spend time actively pursuing things that you love? And instead of just kind of sitting where you are and thinking like, well, this is mostly as good as most people have it, so I'll be good here. I'm good. But then sort of having the secret yearnings of your heart, having to kind of rebury them on a daily or weekly or whatever basis. Anyway, that is the episode for today. I hope I actually I think a few days ago was the full moon. There was a full moon, so this is also an excellent time to really work on forgiveness, work on letting old habits go, maybe some friends go, maybe, or not even letting them go, but maybe putting more distance between you, just so that you can see naturally how it may, whether you come back together or not, see what happens. But yeah, to kind of start to look at yourself like, okay, where am I headed? And let's get on with it. Let's follow some things that I love and see where that leads me, and how, and even wherever it does lead you, it's basically the journey that's the most important thing, right? So it's the fact that you're not spending all day, every day doing stuff you hate. That's actually the real magic to that. And so, if you can sit on your deathbed and say, okay, man, did I ever fill my life with things like that was so fun? Most of them, obviously nothing's going to be without shitty times, but I gave it my all. I followed my dreams. I followed things I loved. I really, left it all on the field, say, and that's a satisfying life. That's a nice, satisfying, fulfilling feeling. And I wish that for you. I wish that for everybody. So I hope that you consider that. Notice, just notice, pay attention to your life and see, what parts you dread, what parts you're burying because you just don't know how to deal with, how to even start that dream or figure it out. Maybe take it out and into the light and kind of see, where can I start with this here? How can I take the first couple steps? And then to just know that you're worthy. You have your dreams. You're worthy of a life that is satisfying and fulfilling to you. And so not to put yourself kind of dead last on the pile of priorities either. Because as women, we easily do that. So to conscientiously keep yourself as a priority. Because, when you have when your kind of cup is full, you have more to give others and a better quality of energy to give others, and the love keeps spreading. Okay, so I will see you next time. Thank you for listening, taking the moment to do that, and I will be back in a week or two to start on the the longer form, once a week kind of episodes. And I think I might even do a short one halfway through the week, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the fall goes once the kids get into school and everybody's got a routine going and I can see where I can, where my time is. All right, so I wish you a beautiful day, happy weekend, and yeah, I wish you a fulfilling and happy life as well, but I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon. All right, take care.